Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Woodburn Accountants and Advisors November webinar series, all about procurement in China. If you've missed our last two sessions, on Monday we were talking about the direct import program using Hong Kong for procurement in Asia. And yesterday we were talking about supply chains. The main discussion was around supply chain disruptions from Asia to global and back. And if you missed that, then please do go up to our YouTube channel. Both videos are already up there that you can review them and look at those recordings. Today, we've got Daisy Ip from the Hong Kong Trade Development Council to share what the Hong Kong TDC can actually offer to companies that are looking to start their procurement activities in Hong Kong, and how Hong Kong can actually be a sourcing hub for Asia. And tomorrow, if you haven't signed up for that, we are also going to have Isabelle Ye from eBury, who's going to be talking about how to mitigate currency risk when trading with Asia, and definitely when trading with multiple different currencies, as is typical. So before we start today's session, as is usual, just a few technical slides. Again, I would love to know who is in the audience. I've already told Daisy a little bit the backgrounds of the people who've registered, but if you are showing up live, then do tell us a little bit about your background. You just simply have to type in newbie, are you a startup, or are you an experienced China hand? How the webinar works is we are here to educate you. So obviously we're going to be trying to sell our services and what we do. That's kind of comes hand in hand. But the goal is really to educate you on what the possibilities are, what opportunities exist, and most importantly, how you can develop your ecosystem, your network with individuals like Daisy, who can support your growth, your business in Hong Kong, in Asia. So this is your time spent. Use it wisely. Please do put any questions you might have in the chat box. The principle is first come, first serve. From a technical standpoint, we're using Zoom meeting. So please note that if you run into any technical difficulties, we are recording today's session. It will go up on our YouTube channel and you'll get the link. Daisy is a co-host with me. So if I run into any issues, Daisy will continue. And if Daisy runs into any issues, I cannot present her presentation, but I will certainly keep you entertained while she comes back on and reboots the system. And like we promise every time, we will conclude with a Q&A and try to get through all the questions and comments that might be asked during that. Just a little bit about myself. My name's Christina Kohler-Coluccia. I'm the head of business advisory at Woodburn Accountants and Advisors, which is my family business. We are focused 100% on helping foreign investors with their market entry into Hong Kong and China. Daisy, forgive me, on my slide, I always mention China because actually my brother manages our Hong Kong office. And he also always teases me that I keep forgetting to put Hong Kong into my dialogues. So I've been forced this week to highlight that. We do Hong Kong and we also do China, guys. I'm more of the China expert and my brother is definitely more of the Hong Kong expert. And thankfully, we've got local experts from Hong Kong who are going to be presenting today in any case. But what we do is we help companies with their market entry strategies, implementation of those strategies. And the beauty of it now is really helping companies focus on growth, on how to scale up, and how to avoid really the most common obstacles and roadblocks that pop up along their journeys when they're coming into the Asian market. And just very briefly, if you've never received a copy of our ebook, The 10 Biggest Mistakes Companies Make in China, feel free to email me at christina@woodburnglobal.com. It's a complimentary book. It's from my opinion of what are the 10 biggest mistakes. I've actually extended that to a book that hopefully will get published next year on the 100 biggest mistakes. Everything from a cultural perspective, marketing perspective, business perspective, all consolidated into one book. But at a starting point, really people should be reading these 10 biggest mistakes. So don't hesitate to reach out. And I'm going to stop my share there and have Daisy take over. Daisy, let me just stop my share. And she's going to be talking about Hong Kong, Asia's sourcing hub. You just have to unmute yourself, Daisy.
Thank
There we
you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Christina. I would love to read your book, actually.
I'll get you a copy.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So, hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Let me just quickly share my screen. Sorry. I hope everyone can see my screen now.
Perfect. It's working, Daisy.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Christina, again. I'm Daisy Ip, Director of the UK, Benelux and Ireland of the Hong Kong Trade Development Council. I'm sure some of the audience here today might have heard of the HKTDC, but please allow me to introduce who we are to those who are new to us today. So the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, the HKTDC, is a statutory trade body established in 1966. We contribute to Hong Kong's advantages and roles in international business through a range of tasks. We are also international trade fairs and conference organizers. We organize over 30 trade shows in Hong Kong every year before COVID, I'm sadly to say, and many of which were the largest in the world and also in Asia. Our main mandate is to promote Hong Kong as a two-way investment and business hub, and also a link to the Greater Bay Area and also the ASEAN opportunities. So just to, as Christina mentioned, today we're here to talk about the sourcing. And yesterday we have experts talking about the global supply chain disruption. So what I'm here today is really to share what HKTDC is helping companies around the world to keep on sourcing despite all these disruptions. And just very, very timely webinar, because we are actually organizing a TDC Lifestyle Sourcing Show in 2 weeks' time. And it will be in a hybrid format. The 1st to the 3rd of December will be a physical form in Hong Kong, a very, of course, a more smaller scale than we used to be, a physical format. And then from the 6th to the 10th of December, it will be a virtual platform for anyone from around the world who are not able to travel to Hong Kong at the moment, still get a chance to meet and also source and buy. So with global sourcing become very increasingly digitalized in the wake of the pandemic, we staged this TDC Lifestyle Sourcing Show, a trade exhibition held in both online and physical formats to adjust to the new sourcing models. And the shows will gather more than 580 exhibitors from 9 countries and regions, showcasing the latest toys, baby products, gift and premium, houseware, optical products, and wine and spirits. And on our platform, we have a very good AI-driven platform called the Click to Match. It's a pioneering platform with an AI-powered smart meeting recommendations that enables suppliers to identify potential buyers, schedule online meetings, conduct live chat, and virtual meetings with each other. We have connected thousands of buyers and sellers around the world throughout the whole pandemic and through our virtual business matching platform last year. Some of them will be assisted by our business matching team, who offer complimentary translation service and assistance. So yes, yesterday, Christina and experts shared about the global disruption, and I'm sure a lot of you here are also be aware with all the, the disruption, the delay with the supply chain globally, not just Hong Kong, it's a global issues. But what I can show you today is the Hong Kong export figures still remain very, very robust. As you can see in 2020, and from compare year on year, the figures, we are still on a positive increment. So in the digital era, the internet has enabled so much convenience and flexibility, including product and service sourcing, as well as making instant connections and sending inquiries. However, internet searches can be a bit time consuming, and as I'm sure some of you are aware of here, and you may have to conduct more than 10 searches across various websites before settling on a certain directions. You're also embarking a whole new sourcing journey as you dedicate time and resources on finding and screening information. And we understand it's a very, very time consuming and also energy consuming process. So the HKTDC understand these challenges for businesses, particularly for SME. So to help SMEs to tackle some of these issues, we have recently completed a revamp of our sourcing platform called HKTDC.com Sourcing. So to offer you a whole new digital sourcing solution and connect, connect global buyers and with their preferred suppliers in a more seamless way. So the TDC has a very important role to play in helping SMEs to digitalize and also tap into new business opportunities under the new normal. So we have more than 50 years experience in connecting buyers and suppliers through our world-class exhibitions. So we have been organizing exhibitions for the last 50 years and also our global network of 50 offices around the world. So we have established a very close partnerships with trade promotion organizations around the world. For example, in the past, we have over 30 exhibitions every year. In 2019 and 20, that is pre-COVID, we have more than 31,000 exhibitors in Hong Kong and over 590,000 buyers in total. This is a figures we usually have every year pre-COVID, and hopefully we'll have people coming back into Hong Kong again, and Christina will be the first one to go to Hong Kong actually. So 20 years ago, we launched our online sourcing platform. So digitalization is not new to TDC. We actually have this platform 20 years ago. And since then, we have been educating SMEs to build their online profiles, develop multimedia content, and make business connections through various online and app-based and also O2O solutions. For our trade fairs participants, these have extended their sourcing journey beyond physical fairs for the last 20 years. And also as a major publisher of trade publications, that what we do, we have also digitalized our product magazines and attract a global readerships. So with these solid foundations, we are responding to the needs of our customers by offering an upgrade digital sourcing experience, including this major revamp of our online marketplace, the TDC.com Sourcing. So the TDC.com Sourcing features more than 200 million registered international buyers, over 2 million registered international buyers, over 130,000 suppliers of products and services, mainly from Hong Kong, mainland China, and other parts of Asia. So through our year-round digital marketing campaigns and promotions at the global trade fairs, we generate more than 20 million business connections between buyers and suppliers each year. So this has been upgraded. We launched back in 2020 October to offer a better user experience and also address the growing need for innovative and cost-effective sourcing solutions. The new platform interface enables buyers to navigate smoothly and search for interested products at the homepage right away. And with the latest AI and machine learning technologies, this platform offers more efficient, accurate, and personalized searching experience, helping buyers to find a better match and faster deals. And suppliers' informations, production capabilities, certificates verified by third-party authorities are also available to help buyers to make the right choices. So with a very simple, user-friendly interface and refined search mechanism, we have increased search accuracy to maximize efficiency. And also by adopting the latest artificial intelligence technologies, personalized product recommendations are tailored to users' preferences and help you to save time. This also increases the chance of building new connections and even concluding deals. This is a platform where you could actually conclude deals. So where you can manage if you register, it is free, by the way. If you register yourself, you can manage all your sourcing activities record via a dashboard and bookmark your interested product to revisit the product quickly and to keep track of your search activities. You can save your search criteria, for example, or set up a new product email alert to receive the latest information about your preferred products and suppliers. And before we start this webinar, Christina and I have a chat about the credential. I think for a lot of buyers, credibility of the supplier is very important. So to buyers, the reliability are important for considerations, particularly when connections are made online, and we address that. So on our TDC.com sourcing platform, suppliers' information, production capabilities, and third-party certifications help buyers to identify quality suppliers with ease. Other indicators, including average response times and history of participation at our past trade fairs, are also a useful reference for all the buyers too. A credential label, gold, silver, and bronze will be shown on the suppliers page. So we offer you a very seamless experience when communicating with suppliers on the TDC.com sourcing platform, an intuitive message center and inquiry form for connecting suppliers, making the communication a lot easier and more direct. You can also make use of the one-on-one voice and video call functions. View and manage your list of suppliers and past communications record with ease. Well, I hope that is a platform for everyone will be able to find what they need and source everything that they want to. But if you can't source from this platform, try our other service called the RFQ service. It's a very simple form to tell us your sourcing requirements, and we offer customized sourcing service. Buyers only need to fill in the form, and then we'll be in touch. And to enjoy the core function of the TDC.com sourcing, you must register for or log into your user account. But as I mentioned, it's free to register. And this is some of the alongside with the platform, we have over lots of support services and launch year-round marketing activities to maximize the business opportunities for buyers and suppliers. So our customers success team help SME, the suppliers, unleash the potential of digital marketing, boost exposure and performance on the platform, and other resources such as our news bites, which is a newsletter from us, and a content platform containing industry news, insight, and social media pages, also sharing a lot of sourcing related posts, sometimes also from our research department about the sourcing trend, etc. So we will also organize like thematic campaigns to help suppliers and buyers to forge closer business connections. So do go to have a look on this platform, and please feel free to let me know or let Christina know your sourcing need or what needs and what specific requirement you want to have, and we're happy to discuss with you directly. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, we are our head office is based in Hong Kong, but we have 50 offices around the world. So no matter where you are, where you're based, do get in touch with us and with Christina, then we were happy to help. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Daisy. So there have been, Emma has a question, but before I get to Emma's question, I just want to ask the question of what are the types of products and services that are promoted through the Hong Kong TDC? Are you specific on certain industry sectors, or is it just open, or is it just consumer related? I mean, what is the scope of that?
It is a very good question. For us, we cover most of the sectors. In pre-COVID time, we organized over 30 trade fairs covering all sectors, from products like gift and premium, lighting, electronic, ICT, and jewelry, you name it. Eco Expo, we have eco-friendly products in different kind of trade fairs. Now is sustainability is very, very big topic.
Okay, Daisy, hold. That's Emma's question. Emma is asking, do you source so Emma, first of all, you've got to understand the Hong Kong TDC doesn't physically do the sourcing. They just provide a supplier list. But Emma's question is, do you source ethical? I guess, let me rephrase that question. Are your suppliers ethical, offering ethical and sustainable products, which are also biodegradable?
So it's a very good question. I mean, it's a very, very logical question as what's happening around the world these days. And this is always internal discussions. Of course, in the past, we've seen exhibitors or our online suppliers, they do have ethical and sustainable products. Of course, this is between the buyers and suppliers to identify what in terms of ethical, sustainable, because different people have different definition, different countries have different definition. But what TDC is doing is providing a platform to connect this. And internally, we are also discussing maybe in the future we will put a label to identify some product that is, with a credibility that is really ethical and also sustainably sourced. Yeah. Excellent. So this will be coming because we see that there's a trend, not just for buyers in the UK, but globally.
Okay. I'm going to pass a question that I received last year in 2020 during the pandemic. And I'm curious to know how you would answer this question now to companies. And I'm guessing you get this quite often. So last year, I was sending out campaigns about China and doing business in China and all of this. And I got a response once from a company that basically said, if we can't travel, we can't do anything. And they continue to say, these virtual trade shows are a waste of time. These virtual trade shows are useless. We can only truly identify sourcing partners by having face-to-face meetings, and now that's impossible. So our business is halted. You have mentioned that in the last year, I think I saw the stat, like you organized 1,700 calls. I mean, there are still people who are continuing with joining these virtual shows and getting their business rolling. So how do you respond to that negativity? How do you answer that?
Well, first of all, I'm a very positive person.
So am I, but I get stuck on these types of questions.
So yeah, it is indeed, it's not easy. Like for example, like even for ourselves, we talk about this, we prefer to have a face-to-face meeting rather than virtual meeting. But we need to accept that the virtual meeting is an alternative, and same as sourcing. Of course, yes, with travel restrictions happening, it is not that we want, but this is the way it is. We can't have the physical trade fair at the moment. So this is why we provide alternatives for people to meet virtually. And the platform we provide, we try to cater, we listen to our customers, what will help them and to facilitate the sourcing needs. That is to have a face-to-face, a platform where they could connect instantly. Right. And also we provide a service that is, we have business matching team that will be there to offer the translation service. Of course, you can't replicate that kind of face-to-face meeting. You can replicate that the rapport that you meet with the suppliers in a trade fair. You can't, because I still really like fascinated to go to the trade fairs, which UK has restarting all the trade fairs. You can get new ideas, not just very target focused, right? So
well, I think it's also the fact more importantly, it's the fact that you can touch and feel the products, right?
Yes, it is. That's exactly it is. And also by visiting different booths, you get different ideas, what are the trends. Whereas for virtual show, it's still doable, but it's not as efficient. As efficient, but it's alternatives. And we hope that we are offering different kind of services or offers. We always keep to listen. This is why in the lifestyle sourcing show, we turn it into a hybrid format. So we will still have company that they're willing to send some products to Hong Kong, and then we get buyers to visit the trade fair who could visit.
So you manage those booths?
Yes. We have 10 staff that they could manage the booth. Or some companies, they might have representatives in Hong Kong, or distributors, they could actually, talk to the buyers. So this is the one step that we try to explore different way to keep this going. And hopefully, we really want to have the physical trade fairs restarted again.
Sure. How are you helping? I don't know if the Hong Kong TDC can do this or not. Are you able to facilitate or help with, for example, sample deliveries? I mean, obviously, when you're having these discussions, right, you can't feel or touch the products. Mm-hmm. So my assumption is the next step, once you have these virtual online meetings, is that the buyer is saying, I want a sample of X, a sample of Y, bring it to me. Is that discussion something that's between the seller and the buyer,
or is that between the sellers and buyers? Okay. Yes. Okay. We know that during those virtual exhibition we held, during those BM meeting, there are requests of samples, and yes, they handle it between themselves.
Okay. You've mentioned that the registration on the platform is free of charge.
Yes.
At what point do you start paying? Is it for the additional services? Is it for the RFQ type services where you would pay extra, or you would start paying for the services from the Hong Kong TDC?
So for registering as a buyer for searches, you don't need to register at all.
Okay.
You don't need to pay at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for for the RFQ, you could still just fill in from that free of charge. However, if we still couldn't find what you need, of course, we might really need to be very specific. Then we might at one point that we might start charging. But yeah, for most of the customers we face, they don't need to pay.
Okay. And when you do the breakdown of your supplier base on the platform, so that is it 2 million?
Yes.
No, 130,000 suppliers. Is that it? 130,000 suppliers, I think.
Yes, 2 million registered buyer and
130,000. What is the breakdown of that between Hong Kong, mainland China, and you said the rest of Asia? I didn't even know you had other countries in there in terms of suppliers. So what is the sort of the breakdown between Hong Kong, mainland China, and Asia? Do you have an
That's a very good question. I could definitely check what are the breakdowns. I don't have it on hand, but from my understanding, a lot of it's very difficult to differentiate because a lot of the manufacturers that are mainland China based, they are also Hong Kong company.
Right.
So it's very difficult to identify or differentiate the differences because they have a representative in Hong Kong, so they are also Hong Kong company. Right. But I'm happy to check that and then share with.
Okay, I think it's just something that's interesting for people. You know, everybody. I to be honest, I made the assumption Hong Kong TDC that the supplier base is going to be Hong Kong based, probably Greater Bay Area based. Yes. But I think it's good to know that if people are looking for for manufacturers or suppliers in mainland China, the Hong Kong TDC is also still a source. I want to emphasize this because, you know, I don't want to put Daisy in an uncomfortable situation, so I'm going to say this. You know, you've got thousands of platforms, the biggest one being Alibaba, where you can look for mainland Chinese suppliers. My personal issue with Alibaba is that it is so big. For one product item, you will have thousands of suppliers, and I don't know how to filter that. I wouldn't know how to filter that except contacting the 1,000 and seeing out of that 1,000 who responds back, and then filtering it down like that with those discussions. Alibaba doesn't offer the B2B matching support that, for example, the Hong Kong TDC has. So if you are a smaller organization, you are having difficulty with internal resources. I've heard of too many issues of using Alibaba and the other mainland Chinese platforms as providers, because what happens is, because of the virtual world we're currently living in, you start working with a supplier, you pay that deposit, and suddenly the supplier disappears. So this is why I like the Hong Kong TDC as a starting point, because there is the verified, you know, gold, silver, bronze verifications. There's Dun & Bradstreet verifications and due diligences. You know what you're getting yourself into when you're starting these conversations with these suppliers. And there's a type of vetting that has occurred. So when you're paying that deposit, if you lose touch, you go to the Hong Kong TDC and you're like, guys, you have this guy on your platform and I've lost touch. They probably will help you in this regard as well and support you. You won't get that with Alibaba. You just won't. And so I want people to be aware of this, because there is a lot of cheating that occurs on some of these platforms in mainland China that I want people to avoid. It is a common obstacle. And what it leads to is a very negative mindset on China. And I want people to avoid getting that negative mindset, because the first person they contact cheats them out of, I don't know, a $10,000 deposit. And you're like, okay, forget China now. I don't want to deal. You know, Asia is a place to be. It is where the opportunities exist. Don't forget that. And, you know, if you're brand new to the market or you're in your startup phase, you know, work with reliable organizations like the Hong Kong TDC that can help you do that. sourcing inquiry or, looking through their platform, that's what they're there for, guys. That's why they exist. That's why Hong Kong developed this organization. I'm tooting your own horn, Daisy, but I want people to be secure and protected when they're going into into Asia, going into China, going into Hong Kong, wherever else. Right?
Thank you, Christina. I think, of course, I can't comment on what other platform, but from our point of view, we have tried to make life easier for the buyers to identify suppliers. This is why we put the credential labels, and it is for the buyers to make the judgment themselves based on what we could offer. For example, the average response time or the past activities with us. So if they have been with our trade fairs for many years, you are almost certain that this company do assist. And
right.
yeah, and also again, we have third-party verifier like Dun & Bradstreet. So this is just some of the reference for you to make the judgment call.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's no other questions that have popped in. So this was a very quick webinar, guys. You get to go home early. That's fantastic. That's your gift away from today. So just quickly to finish up, if you guys would like to share what your biggest takeaway from today was, please do that in the chat box. And last but not least, I just want to highlight once again that tomorrow's our last episode, which is on how to mitigate currency risk when trading with China, which is always a hot topic. And you can go up to woodburnglobal.com/events to register there. Daisy, thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate that the Hong Kong TDC has taken the time to speak to the audience today, and hopefully those out there who are going to watch it on replay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
No, thank you, Christina.
And I just want to highlight also, Daisy and I are doing an event in December.
Yes.
On the other side, about sales into Hong Kong and China. And what I love about this event is we've got actual live case studies. So I actually do have a client of mine that's popping in as well to share their experiences. So if you're interested on that side, then I don't know if the link is already set up, Daisy, but
we will set it up in due course.
Yeah, then we can reach out to Daisy and get that up and running as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you,
everyone for listening. But do get in touch with Christina if there's any questions that you want to follow up after.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
And good luck
Bye.
with the travel, Christina.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.